Hey, it is Zennial Gamer, and it finally happened. And no, I'm not talking about summoning Lady Kimmy. I'm talking about me finally playing Raid Shadow Legends. Now, yeah, this is a sponsored video, but you guys have been asking me to play this game on stream or on video for years now. And we are finally giving it our first shot. So you guys can see me in one of the clan battles right now. Now I'm doing auto just for the purposes of this video, but I wanted to give you an impression of some of the crazy graphics that you get from some of these bosses. So I've been playing Raid for about a week now, and so far I've been really impressed. Probably the number one thing for me is just the absolute crazy amount of configurability that each champion has. And that comes through the combination of gear, accessories, and this mastery grid that you have over here, which allows you to just incredibly customize each champion for the exact way that you would like to play them. So for example, you can see that I'm working on the Lady Kimmy that you saw in the intro right now, one of the two legendaries that I've summoned so far, which is kind of cool. And you can see that I've got her set up as a support and a defense unit. Now we'll talk a little bit more about my first impressions and the things I've actually really enjoyed about Raid so far in just a moment, but first I wanted to share this trailer with you. This trailer is showing the Asgard Divide, one of the largest events that Raid has ever run, and an opportunity to get a free legendary hero simply by logging in once every 7 days. The graphics on the trailer are absolutely insane. I mean, the graphics in the game have really blown me away, particularly the boss animations. But really, just the amount of effort and energy and the skill of their creative team to build these trailers, it is really impressive. So guys, if you have not tried Raid yet and you would like to, and trust me, you would like to, all you have to do is scan the QR code on screen right now, click the link in the description below or in the comments, and download Raid. And if you use my link or the QR code, you're going to immediately get a huge starter pack as soon as you sign up. That's going to include the epic champion Tagoar, who's part of the Orc faction. This is Tagoar right here, you guys can see. Extremely tanky support champion, and a really good way to start the game by getting an epic support champion right off the bat. But of course, Tagoar is not all you get. It is a large starter pack with a lot of bonuses, and once you reach level 15, you will get the Grizzled Jarl, part of the Dwarves faction. Another epic hero, Grizzled Jarl, is a magic affinity champion, and he's a lot stronger than people think with a hard-hitting skill 1, great utility, and an AoE attack rate. Now remember, you only get these benefits by using my link or scanning the QR description in the code above. So what are you guys waiting for? Come join me in Raid today, and join my clan. Love to have you guys clanned with me. It's Myth Inc. Now, as I mentioned, Raid is running one of its biggest events ever, and that is the Asgardian Divide. So, as part of this event, you get a free legendary Loki. Now, this is Loki the Deceiver right here. Loki is actually a pretty insane champion, and we're going to look at his kit in just a moment, but I want to show you exactly how you get it, because it is crazy easy. Log in 7 times. That's it. Log into Raid any 7 days between now and October 23rd, and you get a free and legitimately strong legendary hero, which is actually quite generous. Now, if you play more frequently, you can see that you get bonuses every day. So the first 6 days, you actually get a lot of really strong gear. You get a couple of 5-star and then a bunch of 6-star pieces of gear, which is 6-star artifacts, which is really helpful when you're just starting out. You get some energy, some silver, and then on day 14, and again, not consecutive, just 14th day, you would actually get a perfect soul for Loki. Now, once you've played 14 days, you're going to move into phase 2. And from here, you get a whole bunch of other really cool benefits just by playing the game. Just doing campaigns and dungeons and faction wars and all of the variety of different PvE contents that are available in Raid. Just by playing those, you're going to get more stuff. Now, let's take a quick look here at Loki, who I will be getting tomorrow and actually should be extremely helpful. But of course, Loki is not the only Norse mythological champion that you can get during this event. There are 3 others that you can get through normal in-game activities. Thor Feyhammer is the Harbinger of the Storm, who deals incredible damage to his opponents and uses a brand new Thunder counter to deal powerful AoE damage. Odin Feyfather is the Lord of the Mountain Hall of Asgard. Odin Feyfather has access to the Berserk debuff, which increases the damage a target takes and deals out. He can steal enemy buffs, revive his allies, and deals eye-watering levels of single target damage. And Freya Fateweaver is the golden defender of Asgard. Freya protects her allies with buffs to their defense, impenetrable shields, and the ability to prevent the death of the ally with the highest critical damage. These 4 legendary heroes, and again, one of them is free, are available during the Asgard Divide event. So what are you waiting for? Download Raid and get them now. So I've actually been doing my homework, watching a lot of different videos, looking at some of the bosses for the different PvE contents that I haven't unlocked yet. And probably the most impressive thing that I've seen about Loki is his skill 1, which would be the A1. So from right here, you can see that it's going to be an AoE attack. 30%. You know what? Before we get to this, actually, let me talk a little bit about the rest of his kit. So Loki functions with a buff called Perfect Veil. Perfect Veil is kind of like a protective buff where the opponent cannot attack you. Loki the Deceiver fits really perfectly with Asgardian lore. And through this Perfect Veil, which he starts the fight with, he gets all sorts of benefits. Now, one of those benefits is that he innately has a 15% chance to evade enemy skills and all of their debuffs and effects. But with the Perfect Veil, or a regular veil, that chance actually increases to 30%. Now, whenever his HP is below 50%, he has a 100% chance to evade the enemy's attack, but that goes on cooldown immediately after evading 1 time, so he's not going to be immortal. But if you have the Perfect Veil on, then he's going to be harder to target, and he's going to get that 30% chance to evade instead of just 15. Now, if we look at his skill 3 over here, we'll see that he can steal all buffs from a target and their entire turn meter, and those effects cannot be resisted when he's under Veil. Now, if we take a look at his second skill, this one's actually a pretty cool skill. So he can target the opponents, or he can target his own team. Now, if he's targeting your enemies, what he's going to do is actually block active skills and buffs. Now, he does that always, but if he is under Veil or active or Perfect Veil, then he's also going to have a debuff spread, which basically means that he takes all the debuffs and on whichever enemy he's targeting, and he copies them onto all of the other enemies. If you use it on an ally or on yourself, then he's going to do a 50% heal of his own max HP and place a Perfect Veil on them for 2 turns. But if he is already under Veil, he's also going to apply a buff spread, which means that he takes all the buffs on the teammate or himself and applies that to all of the allies on the team. So it's a really cool skill that you can kind of choose to go in either direction with. It's either a great support skill or a great debuffing skill. And then if we look at his turn 1, we'll see that it's a 30% chance that goes up to 50 through skilling up. That will increase the duration of all enemy debuffs by 1 turn. So this is the ultimate debuffing, buffing machine, which is that, he can place some debuffs, he can work with allies that place other debuffs, he can spread those debuffs onto all enemies, and then with his skill 1, which is no cooldown, he has got a chance to extend those debuffs to basically put enemies into an like an unlimited debuff state. Now, one thing that's kind of important to understand about Raid, and one of the things that I'm actually really enjoying about the game, is that the fights are a little bit longer. Not crazy long. You're not going to be in, most fights. I think there's a couple of PvE contents that I have not unlocked yet that are actually designed to be really long fights intentionally. But generally speaking, like your PvP stuff, like your arena and your kind of lower level dungeon fights, most of them aren't going anything crazy long, but they are a little bit longer by design. And I've seen this in arena, in the PvP stuff, as well as the PvE stuff. And that is actually, to me, a really good thing, because it is a turn-based game that has turn meters, but you're not just simply going in and like snipe, fight done, 2 seconds. You are actually going to be using a lot more strategy, which means that the buffs and the debuffs are going to have a lot greater impact throughout the course of your fights, and that makes Loki an incredibly powerful monster. So the fact that Raid is giving him away for free, that's insane. Now, there's some content that I can't show you guys yet because I just haven't unlocked it because I've only been playing the game for a week. But some really, really cool boss battles that come up later in the game where Loki is just absolutely amazing for. One called Hydra that has 4 Hydra heads. Goal is to do as much damage as you can on it. And so I would definitely strongly recommend that if you guys have not yet installed Raid, look at the QR code. It's going to expand a little bit bigger. Link through the QR code or link in the description below. Install Raid and get the benefit of my link that you're going to get the 2 additional epic heroes to begin your game with. You're going to get some other things from your beginner's pack, and then most importantly, you're going to get Loki just by logging in for 7 days. You don't even have to play. Just log in, get a bunch of other benefits through this event. Now, the Asgardian event, it is not limited to just Loki. You can also get Thor, Odin, and Freyja. Now, these are kind of like Raid's take on mythological characters. So those are going to be like the Raid versions of these North mythological characters. And you can get those other Asgardian champions through normal gameplay. Now, during the Asgardian Divide, there is also a time-limited dungeon that's going to see you facing off against a variety of bosses, the first boss being Odin Feyfather. So once again, guys, make sure to download Raid, use my link, or use the QR code. I'm really enjoying the game, guys. There is a ton of variety. It's like more than 30 different bosses. You know, I'm really big into PvE. There is also PvP. There's 3 types of arena. There's clans. But just that, you know, as a starting player, you're always going to be building up in your PvE. I'm already working on building up my artifact collection. It's a fun game, guys. It's legit. So download Raid. And on that note, as always, guys, I appreciate you watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.